Hello friends, this is Praveen and today in this video we are going to learn about the forest, our lifeline. Before, our ancestors used to worship plants, but now we are killing them. Forest, the word forest comes from a Greek word forest. That means the outdoor or away from the civilization. The forest is home for the herbs, shrubs, creepers, climbers, plants and trees. So first let's learn about what are the herbs. Herbs are normally small plants. Examples of these are grasses. A very minute level. At a very minute level, when a long plant which creeps on the ground, these are called creepers, and creepers which climbs are called climbers. Shrubs is a small modified version of the plant, and the plant is generally somewhat bigger than a shrub, and the tree is the biggest among them. So first we have is a forest profile. The forest on the earth has a trees. Trees of these layers are divided into 4 parts. These are emergent layer, canopy, understand layer and forest floor. So first emergent layer. Emergent layer is above all. These have very large trees, more than 50 to 60 meters long. So they are very high. They almost lie above all the forest. These trees are big trees. Then the canopy layer is somewhat lower or somewhat small trees from the emergent layer, but are very dense. So these abstract the sunlight from falling to even the forest floor. So it is difficult when there is large amount of dense canopy. So it is difficult the sunlight able to pass. So first we learn emergent of this level. Then we have this canopy, and after this comes the emergent understand layer. This layer contains about the 30 to 40 meters of the trees are grown here. These trees are not that much of dense, as I told that the canopy is dense, very dense here. So the light is some lights are only able to pass through them. And at the last we have is a forest floor, which is normally the floor of the forest. Which is normally the forest floor, which is lies at the down and is at the ground. Many insects and the herbs and shrubs are found here, and most of the insects are found here. Do you know that the half of the Earth's oxygen is produced by the Amazon rainforest? Then we have the interdependence. The plants and animals are dependent on each other. Plants and animals are dependent on each other. Plants which make up the food, these are called autotrophic nutrition, are called producers, because they produce their own food. So these are called producers. These manufacture their own food by the process of the photosynthesis. Most plants are the part of this. Then we have the animals here. Animals which consume food are called consumers. The produce food and the animal consume it. So these have an interrelationship. And how does the animal helps the plant? They helps by leaving the carbon dioxide because they release O2 and food they give plant. So they give them CO2, which is carbon dioxide, and help the plant in the pollination to reproduction, for the reproduction of the plants. Then food chain. Just let's take an example of a food chain. A food chain is a series of the food eaten by which animal. First we have some grass eaten by grasshopper. Then it is grasshopper is eaten by the frog, and frog is eaten by the snake, and snake is eaten by the eagle. In which the grass is a producer here, and the last, all these are the consumers, but this eagle is the top consumer, and these are the also consumers, but they are not top consumers, which consume very less energy. If the energy stored by them is get by them is 1000, so only 10% of the energy is passed through, then passed again, because the 90% of the rest energy is used by the plants or the organism for its function or the life process works. So only 90% they have used, so 10% is passed through. So 10% is passed to grasshopper, grasshopper passes 10% of the remaining ones. Then a food web. Food web is like the food chain, but these are not in a series. Just like here is grass is eaten by frog, mouse, and grass hopper eaten. Then the frogs eat the grasshopper, and the snake eat the both frog and the hawk, which is a species of an eagle, eat the snake also. Eats up the, so this is a food web. So what is differentiate between the food chain and the food web? That they are not in the series. This is not in the series, and the food chain is in the series. So what is the uses of the forest? The uses of the forest. The forest is helping in many things. So first let's learn by the one by one. First we have the air purification. Air purification is done by the plants. They are taking carbon dioxide and release oxygen, which is important for the all living beings. But there is an important function that the carbon dioxide and methane acts as a glass house, which prevent the heat from passing through excess, can lead to the more heating of the earth. Rainfall is also due to the presence of the forest, because forest help them to take the excess water from the ground and remove in the atmosphere by the process of the transpiration. Then what daily uses we use for the water, for the furniture, for the food, just like honey. Honey is produced by, and let's deforestation. destruction is another way which is called deforestation, which means the cutting of the trees. This affects the plants and which is CO2 to release more, which is carbon dioxide. Then conservation of the food can be done by the planting more and more trees and using the less papers also. So let's summarize what we have learned today. We learned about the forest profile. What are the types of the profiles? We describe them depending on the different types of the forest or the plants. They are trees or plants or trees found here. First features: emergent layer, canopy, understand layer, forest growth. Then we learned about the interdependence of the food chain. Interdependence of the plants and the animals producers. Then we learn about the food chain, food web, uses of the forest, air purification, waterfall, daily uses, deforestation, effects and conservation. So friends, I hope that you like this video, and at the last, thanks for watching.